Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to cover 50 most important questions in Java.
Here I am, Ananya. Got a Java interview in a few days and feeling a bit stressed? Let's make it simple together.
With some motivation. Today's motivation is success is not about how high you have climbed, but how you make a positive difference to the world.
Java is everywhere. You see a show in Netflix or buy something in Amazon. Java developers are always in demand. So here I am making a tour of Java main concepts. So take a deep breath and check these top 50 Java interview questions and be prepared. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe and like the channel.
So stay tuned till the end and let's deep dive in the world of Java.
So here is the first question. First question is difference between JDK and JRE. JDK is Java Development Kit. This is the software development environment used for building applications and applets using the Java programming language. And JRE is Java Runtime Environment. It is used as a software package that provides the necessary environment for running Java application. So we can think JRE as a player. It allows you to run Java programs but cannot create them. It includes JVM and libraries needed to run Java applications. And JDK, Java Development Kit, on the other hand, it is a studio. It allows you to create and run Java programs. It includes JRE plus extra tool like Java for compiling Java code. So if you only want to run Java apps, you just need JRE. If you want write and run the Java apps, you need JDK. Next, what is applet? An applet in Java is a small Java programs designed to be embedded within a web page and execute within a web browser. Applets are embedded into HTML pages using tags like applet. Here, a small overview of JDK and JRE, how they are actually means in a machine. So here you see inside JDK there is JRE and inside JRE there is JVM. Here also the same, and here we have seen that inside JRE there is JVM, development tools like Java C, Java, etc. Inside JVM there are set of libraries like rt.jar and other files. So this is all about JDK, JVM and JRE. Why Java is a platform independent language? Java is considered as a platform independent language because of its ability to run the same code on any operating system without modification. You can write a Java code. You write the source code in a .java file. The Java compiler, Javac, compiles the code into a bytecode, which is stored in a .class file. This bytecode is not platform specific, unlike native machine code. So normally we can say programming languages are compiled into machine code that works only on one type of computer or operating system. But in Java, when you write the code and compile it, it is converted into bytecode, not directly to the machine code. This bytecode is same everywhere and can run in any computer. So we can say bytecode is universal. JVM is platform dependent. Different OSs have their own JVM implementation, but the Java code remains the same.
Difference between an abstract class and an interface. In Java, abstract class is declared with the abstract keyword. Java abstract class is the class that cannot be instantiated by itself. It needs to be subclass by another class to use its properties. On the other hand, an interface in Java is the blueprint of a behavior. A Java interface contains static constants and abstract methods. Here you can see the key difference between abstract class and interface. Abstract class can have abstract and non-abstract methods. Interface can only have abstract methods. Abstract class details. Abstract class can have final, non-final, static, non-static variables. Interface only has static and final variables. Abstract class can provide the implementation of interface. Interface cannot provide implementation of abstract class. Then the abstract keyword is used to declare abstract class. The interface keyword is used to declare interface. An abstract class can extend another Java class and implement multiple Java interfaces. The interface can extend another Java interface only. An abstract class can be extended using keyword extends, and interface can only use implements keyword. A Java abstract class can have class members like private, protected, and members of Java interface are public by default. So these are the main difference. Now we can see some examples of interface and abstract class in Java. Here the example of abstract. Now we are running this program to see the output. In the terminal we are running the code now. So it is giving the right output. So here is the example of interface. Interface method does not have a body. The body of animal sound is provided inside the class pig. So now we will run the program and see the output. Now here is the terminal Java program. So here you can see it is printed correctly, the output. That's all for abstract class and interface. Now we are moving to the next question. Difference between final, finally and finalize. The final keyword in Java is used with variables, methods and also with classes to restrict modification. Means something you have declared as final is final for the lifetime of the program. The finally keyword in Java is used to create a block of code that always executes after try block. That is, try catch block executed first and then the finally keyword. And the finalize method is called by the garbage collector just before an object is removed from memory. It allows us to perform cleanup activity. Now we see the examples. Now here are 3 examples. This one is for final variable. So here final variable is modifying this final variable here, but it is modifying, so it will show the compile time error. Next one is for finally keyword. So it will show the exception for divide by 0, and this one for finalize method. So it will execute and show the output, these three code, and show the output to you. Difference between stack and heap memory. Stack assigning memory of local variables and function calls in call stack. Heap memory is allocated dynamically during program execution. So that is the difference mainly. Stack is a static storage, heap is dynamic storage. There is a difference shown here, stack and heap memory. You can see that is in definition. Stack stores local variable method calls in leaf order, where heap is dynamic memory allocation. Similarly, it is done on compiler when method is invoked or returned, and heap is done manually, like new in Java, malloc in C, and garbage collector in Java or C hash. Size of stack memory is smaller and heap is large. Very fast, but heap is slow, and lifetime of them is stack. For stack, the variable exists only while the method is running, and object exists until explicitly freed or garbage collected. That is the difference, main difference of stack and heap memory. Next is difference between method overloading and method overriding. Method overloading is generally done in compile time, but method overriding is done during runtime polymorphism. So here, this is the example of method overloading, and this is for method overriding. Now I am running 3 programs. First one for final keyword. So it will show error as expected. Second one is for finally keyword. Running. So it is showing exception divide by 0. It is showing warning, not error. So here you can see the output has been shown. Object 1 created, object 2 created, finalize called in object 1, finalize called in object 2. Main method finished. So that is the output of the programs. Now you can run and ask if there is any query in my comment section. Difference between stack and heap memory. Stack allocation refers to the process of assigning memory of local variables and function calls in call stack. Heap memory is allocated dynamically during program execution. So that is the difference mainly. Stack is a static storage, heap is dynamic storage. There is a difference shown here, stack and heap memory. You can see that is in definition, in allocation, deallocation, size, access speed and lifetime. Stack stores local variable method calls in leaf order, where heap is dynamic memory allocation. Similarly, it is done on compiler when method is invoked or returned, and heap is done manually, like new in Java, malloc in C, and garbage collector in Java or C hash. Size of stack memory is smaller and heap is large. Very fast, but heap is slow, and lifetime of them is stack. For stack, the variable exists only while the method is running, and heap memory object exists until explicitly freed or garbage collected. That is the difference, main difference of stack and heap memory. Next is difference between method overloading and method overriding. Method overloading is generally done in compile time, but method overriding is done during runtime polymorphism. So this is the example of method overloading, and this is for method overriding. For method overloading, we have written this program, and for method overriding, we have written the next program. So in method overloading, there we can see that the same method name, display, here one argument, here the same method has two arguments. So we can understand while the calling display with the arguments that which method is calling from here. One argument method or two argument method. So that is why it is compile time polymorphism. But in method overriding, we do not know which method we are calling, because same method is inside animal, make sound, and same method inside dog, make sound. So also their parameters are same, no parameters in both. So while we are calling this method, we do not know which method we actually calling, but from creating the object, that is animal object here, so the output is from here, and here the object is for dog, so here output will be from here, the dog class, that is overridden method of make sound. Here also the instance of dog, so this also return the overridden method, that is make sound of dog class. That is the method overloading and overridden actually makes the difference. So we will run this code and show the output right now. Now I am running the code.
So output is given correctly. Here is the output. If any doubts till now, you can ask me in my comment section. Now the next question. So the next one is difference between private and protected modifier. The main difference between private and protected access modifier lies in their scope and visibility. So what is their scope and where they are visible? That is the main difference between private and protected modifier. Private members are only accessible within the class where they are defined, while the protected members are accessible within the class, subclass, and within the same package too. Here you can see I have written a program on private modifier, that is private modifier, and it will give error while you are using the class from different package. And here is protected modifier, and when we are calling this protected from main different package, it will give error. It cannot access the protected member from main class directly. You can run this program and see what is the difference between protected and private modifier. Now, what is constructor overloading in Java? Constructor overloading in Java is a feature that allows a class to have multiple constructors, each with same name but with different parameter list. It is same as method overloading. Here you can see an example of constructor overloading. So you can check this program by yourself. It is a program of constructor overloading, same as method overloading. Next is super keyword. What is the use of super keyword in Java? The super keyword in Java is used within a subclass to refer to the immediate parent class object. Yes, the super is referring the parent class. So super keyword mainly used to inherit the properties of parent. So we do not need to write it in children. The properties we can inherit from. Here is an example of superclass. Here in dog we use the super keyword. Now dog is inheriting the property of animal. Create an object of dog and want to print the message. It will print the message of animal is the parent class here. So dog will inherit the property of animal. So print animals print statement. Also it will print the statement of dog class. So we will inheriting the property of parent due to super keyword. If there is no super keyword, it will only print dog constructor called. That is only the dog constructor print message. But here it will print child as well as parents message. That is dog and animal both message gets printed.
Difference between static method, static variable and static classes in Java. Static method and static variable are those methods and variables that belong to the class of Java program, not to the object of the class. This gets memory where the class is loaded, and this can directly be called with the help of class names. For example, we have used mathematical function in the Java program like max, mean, square root for finding root of a function, and pow for finding the power of a function. And if we notice that, then we will find that we call it directly with the class name like math.max, math.mean, etc. So that is the static method all about. And similarly, static variables we have used like length function we know, length for the array to get the length of something. So that is the static method. Static classes. A class in the Java program cannot be static except it is a inner class, means only inner class can be static in Java program. If it is inner static class, then it can exactly work like other static members of the class. Exactly meaning of system.out.println. System is a built-in final class in the package java.lang. Out is a static field of system class, and println is a method that is in printstream class. Now we are moving to the next question. Next question is, what are the object-oriented features supported by Java? The object-oriented features supported by Java are object, encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction, and class. These features are supported by Java, which are also object-oriented features. What are different access specifiers used in Java? Java has 4 access specifiers, that is public, private, protected, and default. This keyword control the visibility and accessibility of classes, methods, and variables. Now, what is the difference between composition and inheritance? We know there are many types of inheritance are there: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. The composition also provides code reusability, but the difference here is we do not extend the class for this. In simple word, we can say composition is when a class is made up of other classes. It represents with a has a relationship. Unlike the inheritance which represents is a relationship. So inheritance has is a relationship, and the composition has a relationship. Purpose of abstract class. We already discussed abstract class in previous questions, so I am not discussing here. Now, what is the difference between a constructor and a method of a class in Java? The purpose of constructor is it is used to initialize an object when it is created. Method is used to define the behavior of an object. Method performs action or return result. Name. Constructor must have same name of the class, but method can have any valid name, not necessarily the class name. Return time. Constructor has no return type, not even void. Method must declare a return type. It can have string, int, void, etc. Invocation. Constructor call automatically when an object is created using the new keyword. Method called explicitly by the object. Inheritance. Constructor not inherit by subclass, but a subclass constructor can call a superclass constructor using super. Method inherited by subclasses. Overloading. Constructor can overload, but method also can overload or overridden in subclass. Use of these or super. Constructor often uses these and super both. Method can use this but cannot call constructor directly. Here is an example of constructor and method. Constructor has same name as class, student. Method has different name. Constructor called automatically, method called explicitly. What is the diamond problem in Java and how it is solved? The diamond problem is Java refer to an ambiguity. Here in this question, we have drawn a diagram where B and class C both extending class A and class D extend both class B and C. Now, if A has a method to display, means method has display, name display, and both B and C inherit it without overriding, and then D tries to call display, then from where it should call display? From B or from C? This is ambiguity. Display is in A, it is inherited by B and C and wants to call by D. But from where D will call? From B or C? That is the ambiguity, which is diamond problem in Java. Java solved the diamond problem by not allowing multiple inheritance. In Java, a class can only extend one class. This rule eliminates the ambiguity. Now, difference between local and instant variable in Java. Declaration a local variable declaration inside a method, a constructor or a block, that is for local variable, and for instance variable it is declared within a class but outside any method, constructor or block. What is marker interface in Java? In Java, a marker interface is an empty interface that has no fields or methods. It is used just to mark or tag a class to tell Java or any other program that something special about the class. So tagging means special something. These interfaces do not have any method inside but act as a metadata to provide information about the class. Example of marker interfaces are serializable, clonable or remote. Next, data structure and algorithm. Why are strings immutable in Java? In Java, strings are immutable means their values cannot be changed once they are created. This feature enhances performance, security, thread safety, caching and consistent behavior in operations like string pooling. Next is difference between creating a string using new and as a literal. Now we can see that as a string literal, how it is created, I have seen there. And with new, how a string created, here I have shown it. String literal are stored in a special area, that is string constant pool. But in new string object stored in heap memory. Even the hello already exists in SCP, it will be created in heap memory. If hello already exists in string pool, S2 in string literal only refer S1. It will not create, it will only refer. But here in string with new, here string will be created. And if here we compare S1 equal to S2, then it will return true. But here S3 equal to S4, it returns true. But S3 equal to S4 returns false. Next, what is the collection framework? A collection in Java is a group of individual objects that are treated as a single unit. In Java, a separate framework named the collection framework was defined in JDK 1.2, which contains all the Java collection classes and interfaces. Main interface in collection framework are collection, list, set, queue, map, etc. Next is difference between array list and linked list. An array is a collection of items stored in contiguous memory location. The idea is to store multiple items of same type together. The main difference we can say, we use array list when we need fast access by index, but linked list mainly used to frequent insertion and deletion. Here are two examples of array list and linked list. What are difference between hash map and tree map? Here I have seen difference in a table. Hash map has no ordering, while tree map maintains sorted order, which data complexity of hash map is O1 for get, put and workspace 1 ON, and tree map complexity is O log n. For put, for get, use allows one null key and multiple null values, but tree map does not allow null key. Hash map is faster and tree map is slower. So these are the key points of difference between hash map and tree map. You can see more. Here an example, you can run it and see what is the difference between them, hash map and tree map. Difference between hash set and tree set. Between the set, the first most thing that comes into play is the insertion order and how elements will be processed. Hash set in Java is a class implementation, the set interface, backend by a hash table, which is a hash map in instance. This class permits the nulled event. The classes also offers constant time performance for basic operation like add, remove, contents, and size, assuming the hash function disperses the elements properly among the buckets.
While tree set is an implementation of shortest set, as I have discussed previously, it is sorted set interface, which, as name suggests, uses the tree for storage purposes, where here the ordering of the elements is maintained by the set using their natural ordering, whether or not an explicit comparator is provided. In short, we can say in hash set, we only use when we need uniqueness and speed, but in tree set, use when we need uniqueness with sorted order. Here is an example. You can run this code and see the difference between hash set and tree set. Difference between an iterator and a list iterator. Iterator is used in collection framework in Java to retrieve the elements one by one. It can be applied to any collection object. By using iterator, we can perform both read and remove operation. List iterator is only applicable for list collection implemented like array list, linked list, etc. It is a bidirectional iteration. Both use the package java.util. Here is an example you can see for both. Now, what is the purpose of comparable interface? The comparable interface in Java is used to define natural ordering of objects within a class. Means simply we can say a class implements comparable and overrides the compare to methods, which returns 0 for two objects are equal, a positive number if the current object is greater, a negative number if current object is smaller. Example, sorting list of student by age. Next is purpose of Java util concurrent package. The Java util concurrent package in Java was introduced to make multi-threaded and concurrent programming safer, easier and more efficient. Main purpose for Java util concurrent package are simplifies thread management, improve performance, provide ready-to-use thread-safe data structure, task execution framework, advanced synchronization tool, etc. Now next one. What is exception? In Java, an exception is an event that disrupts the normal flow of program execution. It represents an error or an abnormal condition that occurs during runtime. How does an exception propagate throughout the Java code? In Java, exception propagation describes the mechanism by which an exception, when thrown in a method, travels up to the call stack till it is either caught and handled by try-catch block or reaches the top of the call stack, leading to program termination. Now, what is the difference between checked and unchecked exception? Difference between checked and unchecked exception. Checked exception are detected by Java compiler at compile time. This means that if method can throw a checked exception, the calling code must either explicitly handle it using try-catch block or declare that it throws an exception using throws keyword. Failure to do so is it shows compile time error. Unchecked exception shown in runtime, it handles in runtime. It is not checked at compile time. They can occur at runtime due to programming error or logical flaws. The compiler does not enforce this handling. Secondly, checked exception recoverable condition. They typically represent conditions from which a program can reasonably recover. That is IO exception, SQL exception, etc. The exception is that the calling code can implement logic to handle this situation gracefully. But unchecked exception has irrecoverable error or bugs, means this cannot handle. This kind of programming error cannot reasonably recover, such as null pointer exception, array index out of bound exception, or illegal argument exception. Now, inheritance. Checked exception are direct subclass of exception class, but not runtime exception. And for unchecked exception are subclass of runtime exception, which itself a subclass of exception error class and also considered unchecked. Next is, what is the use of try-catch block in Java? In Java, try-catch block is a fundamental construct for handling exception, which are events that disrupt the normal flow of program execution. So, there are try and catch block which handles the exception. Now, what is the difference between throw and throws? The throw keyword is used to throw exception explicitly. It can throw only one exception at a time. The throws keyword can be used to declare multiple exceptions separated by commas. Throw keyword cannot propagate through checked exception, while throws keyword is used to propagate checked exception. What is the base class of all exception classes? The base class of all exception classes in Java is Java lang throwable. Throwable is the root of entire exception hierarchy in Java. It has two direct subclasses, Java lang exception and Java lang error. What is the Java Enterprise Edition? Java Enterprise Edition, now known as Jakarta, is a collection of specifications and APIs for the Java platform designed for develop large-scale distributed and highly available enterprise edition applications. Now, what is the difference between servlet and JSP? Servlet and JSPs are both Java technologies used for developing web application, but they differ in their primary focus and how they combine logic and presentation. Servlet is a Java code. JSP is an HTML based compilation code. Writing code for servlet is harder than JSP as it is HTML in Java. JSP is easy to code as it is Java in HTML. Servlet plays a controller role in MVC approach. JSP is the view in the MVC approach for showing output. Now, next section is multithreading. What is a thread and what is the different stages in its life cycle? A thread in Java can exist in any one of the following stages at any given time. A thread lies only one of the shown states as at any instant. That is new state, runnable state, block state, waiting state, time waiting state and terminated state. Next, a difference between a process and a thread. A process is a program in execution with its own memory space, while a thread is a smaller unit of execution within a process, sharing the process's memory. Key difference lie in memory management, resource consumption, and communication mechanism. Processes have independent memory spaces, while the threads share memory with their parent process. Processes are considered as heavy while threads are lightweight. What is the different types of thread priorities available in Java? Whenever we create a thread in Java, it always has some priority assigned to it. Priority can either be given by JVM while creating the thread, or it can be given by programmer explicitly. What is context switching in Java? Context switching in Java refers to the mechanism by which underlying operating system or Java virtual machine switches the CPUs. Means CPU execution switches from one thread to other. That is the context switching. Difference between user thread and daemon thread. The daemon thread will stop automatically when user thread ends, even if it is still running. If you do not set it as a daemon, the program will keep running until that thread finishes. Now here you can see the differences in a table. In Java, synchronization is a mechanism that ensures that only one thread can access a shared resource at a time. It's mainly used to prevent thread interference and memory consistency error in multi-threaded programs. What is deadlock? A deadlock is a situation where a set of processes is blocked because each process is holding a resource and waiting for another resource acquired by some other process. So, deadlock happens in these cases. Use of wait and notify methods. Wait causes the current thread to pause execution and release the lock on the object its synchronization on. The thread stays in waiting state until another thread calls notify or notify all on the same object. Notify mainly wakes up one thread that is on waiting on the same object. The awakened thread still needs to reacquire the lock before resuming. Next, difference between synchronized and volatile in Java. In volatile, it ensures that variable latest value is always read directly from main memory, not from a thread or local cache. Use case: when multiple threads read or write a simple variable and you only need visibility, not atomicity, then we can use volatile. Limitation: volatile memory does not provide mutual exclusion, but synchronize provides both mutual exclusion and visibility. What is the purpose of sleep method in Java? In Java, the sleep method used to pause the execution of current thread for a specified amount of time. Here you can see difference between wait and sleep in Java. Wait method belongs to object class, where sleep method belongs to thread class. Wait method releases lock during synchronization. Sleep method does not release lock on object during synchronization. Wait is not a static method, sleep is a static method. Like that, there are many differences, you can check it by your own. Now, question of this series: difference between notify and notify all in Java. The notify and notify all methods with wait methods are used for communication between the threads. In short, we can say we use notify when one thread is enough to proceed. We use notify when all threads needs to be awakened for a particular task, like customer scenario with multiple customers. That's all 50 questions of Java. Next video coming soon. Stay tuned and until then, bye bye.